So, Schlep has gone from being one of the most beloved Roblox YouTubers to being one of the most hated within the span of just a couple weeks. And we have to talk about it because, in my opinion, emphasis on in my opinion, I feel like Roblox is playing a bigger role in this than people realize. And I feel like there's some nefarious things going around in the background that are basically happening to purposefully try and target Schlep. And I'm going to talk about it, but please keep in mind that this is just my opinion. You hear that, Roblox lawyers? Just my opinion. But with that in mind, for those of you that don't know, Schlep started creating content on YouTube several years ago, actually, and initially was making Roblox commentary content about updates. So basically, he would address an update, what that was going to mean for the platform, and would give his 2 cents on it. And then as his channel slowly started to kind of change over time, which is what most YouTube channels do, he began creating basically catching content is what I'll call it because I don't want to get demonetized. So basically it was content where he would go to Roblox, find people who didn't have good intentions, would then transfer that conversation onto a secondary platform, which typically it was the dangerous person on Roblox who would initiate that and would instigate for them to go to another platform. He'd have conversations with them, and as his channel grew more, he had more means to go and actually meet these people in real life, get real law enforcement involved, and get people actually convicted of their crimes. And then towards the end of, his kind of catching series, he actually decided to pair up with a popular YouTuber by the name of Gideon and some other creators where they actually went in groups and went ahead and took these dangerous people off the street and off the internet and put them behind bars. Now, personally, I think that's a great thing, but sadly, some people, Roblox, don't seem to like that, which is a little bit silly, but with that, Schlep, was making this kind of content, and Roblox didn't like that. So Roblox, Roblox does, they sent him a cease and desist. They're like, Schlep, shut up. If you don't, you're going to be poor. And I think a lot of people, when they get cease and desist, especially from a multi-billion-dollar corporation like Roblox, would be very quick to shut up because they're scared of the legal repercussions, especially since Roblox has so much money, so they have so much more access to legal counsel than the typical average person would have, especially Schlep at his young age of, I think he's like 21 or 22, so he's very young. And Schlep did the absolute opposite and went ahead to Twitter and voiced his concerns. He's like, hey guys, I was sent to cease and desist for catching dangerous people on the platform. Roblox, I guess, wants dangerous people on their platform. And this absolutely backfired in Roblox's face. They ended up getting canceled. Mainstream news is talking about Roblox. Even like my family members who are not really on the internet were hearing about this, which is like shocking. There was actually states and the US government that got involved with suing Roblox. So Roblox is not having a fun time, and their stock plummeted by millions and millions of dollars. If you look at the Roblox stock, you can see how much it lost in value, which was obviously a massive, massive loss for Roblox. Now, Roblox kind of doubled down on their Schlep thing. Then they came back, they're like, oh, you know what, Schlep, you could be part of like our safety council. And then they blocked him on Twitter because they were updating things, and Schlep was like, hey, this isn't going to fix stuff. And Roblox didn't like that, so they blocked him. And now here we are, a couple weeks later, and Roblox has implemented one of the most controversial updates in their history, and unfortunately, people are attributing that update to Schlep. Now, if you guys know what update I'm talking about, basically, Roblox has recently implemented an update where you now have to scan your face and basically give away your biometric data to Roblox in order to chat. Otherwise, you are silenced from the platform. And what's scary about this is there are already people who are actively selling child authenticated user platforms, like user accounts on black market websites to dangerous people. So dangerous people can use children's accounts to talk to children. So it's already a very flawed system, and Schlep has been pretty vocal about how this isn't going to help Roblox. However, Roblox was like, you know what? We think this would be a great update, and so they added it. And in my personal opinion, I think, that Roblox added such a controversial update almost as an F you to Schlep, to say, hey, F you, you want the platform to be safe, guess what? Nobody can talk. And almost kind of like this belligerent kind of action to basically, what I would say, take to the extreme what Schlep has been saying, where adults and children should not be talking on the platform. And so they did that, and obviously people who play Roblox don't like that. Personally, as someone who plays Roblox, from time to time. I don't play as much anymore because I'm pretty busy. But I don't want to give away my biometric data to Roblox. And I've talked about this in a previous video because I have some education and biometric data and just the way that data is collected online and stored and sold to advertisers. And it's a whole really creepy industry, to be honest. But I said that how sharing biometric data and data about yourself regarding where you live, your age, scanning your face even, can lead to future cyber attacks on your whole credit bureau and stuff like that, on your finances, people trying to open credit cards in your name. It can impact your ability to do different things later in life, which I don't want to get too much into. That's why I'm trying to use vague words here. But regardless, it's very, very dangerous to be doing this, in my opinion. And Roblox decided to do this really, really aggressive update, which, in my opinion, was an FU to Schlep, and to basically almost try to turn the people against Schlep, which has unfortunately worked for some people. Schlep has been not super public about this. However, he has been posting some little snippets on his Twitter where he is actively getting death threats from people on Roblox because of the update that Roblox has implemented. He is getting people printing off pictures of his face and putting bullseye marks in the middle of his forehead, basically saying that they're going to shoot him in the head. Insanity. And something I can't stand, what I find quite a bit, especially with people on the internet who are trying to do a good thing, is that when they come out as a whistleblower, which basically means the first person to talk about something, to be like, hey, this is wrong, guys, and they start a whole movement, which is what Schlep did, right? They are idolized for a little chunk of time. And then as soon as the platform kind of retaliates, in my opinion, by making these really aggressive updates, by not listening to their player base, and by being just like swinging from one side of the pendulum to the complete opposite, where they are basically now censoring users unless they hand over personally identifiable information, it has created this sort of hate for Schlep that has been falsely attributed to him, which I think is really unfortunate because he's getting so many hate comments. He's getting so many people printing off pictures of his face. And Schlep has been pretty open about his own experience on Roblox and how he was actually, you know, I can't say the word on YouTube, but something happened to him as it relates to an adult and a child on the Roblox platform due to Roblox's poor moderation. And he was honest about that because he was just trying to communicate to people that this is something that unfortunately is normalized and it shouldn't be. That this is something that happens to a lot of kids and it shouldn't have happened to anybody. And it's really disgusting to see people taking his trauma and that situation and are saying, oh, Schlep was lying, that never happened to him. Schlep was just trying to get, you know, attention for that. Schlep is such a baby, blah, 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 grow up. And a lot of people are actually being quite sexist with it and saying, oh, well, you're a man, you should grow up, get over it. That shouldn't have happened to you, that can only happen to young girls, which could not be further from the truth. There's actually, if you look at the statistics, there's a lot of people that are actively victimized on the internet, and it is not solely, quote, little girls. But regardless, that's a whole other conversation for a whole other video. But I honestly think it is absolutely disgusting how the public has, some of them, have done a complete 180 on Schlep and are now painting him as this evil, demonic being that are trying to silence them on Roblox, when in fact, all he has been saying is, let's make this platform safer. Let's implement human moderators to go over content instead of AI. And then Roblox is like, you know what? Actually, let's not hire anybody. You know, let's save our money as a multi-billion-dollar company. Let's not hire anybody, and let's actually get more AI. Oh, and on top of that, let's silence people. They can't talk. That's a great idea. And then, they have to submit a picture of their face. We have to scan their face using a third-party application that's currently undergoing class action lawsuits for data breaches. Yeah. And then after we get kids to give us their faces on a quote allegedly unsecure platform, let's make them actually double check their identity if we don't believe them with like an ID. Yeah, the ID with like their full legal address, their weight, their height, their eye color, their full legal name. Yeah. Let's go ahead and put that in there too, so that we can get all the information about this random 12-year-old kid, where he lives, how much he weighs, what his ethnicity is, what his height is, what's his exact home mailing address, what's his last name, middle name. Might as well get his social security number too. I'm just kidding. They don't collect that. But you know what I mean? Like, this is actually just so insane to me that Roblox thinks that this is a good move, that it is a good move to collect all this incredibly sensitive information about players, especially children who cannot fully consent to their data being collected, while subsequently, you know, turning players almost against Schlep to make it seem like this is what Schlep asked for. Schlep has been one of the most open and honest creators about not wanting this update because he recognizes how dangerous the collection of biometric data is, how dangerous it is for your future, for your credit, for people stealing your identity online. It is, in my opinion, and in the opinion of a lot of other people, not safe. And unfortunately, with Roblox doing almost this like dictator sort of mass silencing of children and adults on their platform for not wanting to hand over their personally identifiable information, people are then blaming Schlep for that when he has been the person that has been against it the entire time. And Roblox is, in my opinion, again, doing it as an FU to everybody who has been holding them accountable for their actions by just basically punishing everybody, which I just think is so backwards. It's one thing to want to keep kids safe. It's another thing for you to be encouraging children to trade their privacy for the ability to speak in a game, when the whole point, if you go down to the very history of the internet, the whole point of public domain internet chat rooms and stuff like that was to have freedom of speech. And we're doing exactly the opposite of that by implementing this feature into an online game, which I just think is atrocious. There are way better ways to handle this, i.e. hiring actual moderators, people to actually be in Roblox games and to actively be moderating chats for inappropriate behavior, as opposed to using AI and then using AI software to scan kids' faces and store their data. But regardless, I think it is absolutely backwards and really terrible that people are harassing Schlep over this. I think it is disgusting. I think it's disgusting that people are saying that as a man that he's not able to experience situations like that, when in reality, people can be targeted regardless of their age, regardless of their gender, regardless of their ethnicity, whatever. People online do not discriminate when it comes to who they are going to try and victimize. They'll try to get anybody that they have access to, regardless of what they look like, their gender, whatever it may be, right? And I think it's a really harmful rhetoric to spread out there that he's lying, that he deserved it, or that he should just gotten over it, because you have no idea what it's like until you've been in that situation. And I really, really do hope that people who are actively sending him death threats take a step back and are like, you know what, maybe I should go touch some grass. Maybe I should go take a break, because harassing somebody that's actively advocating for your safety, the safety of your friends, the safety of your classmates, the safety of your children if you eventually have them, is insane to me. But regardless, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Do you think Schlep deserves a hate? Have you seen nasty comments about him? What do you think about those? And if you guys made this fun video, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.